good reasons for that. This is a waterfall project, and this is basically the go live date for the waterfall release project phase. And what happens is it usually takes about the same amount of time, or 1.5 times, to break even. And profit is only realised after, if this was a 1-year project, or a development project, after about 2 years. And the biggest problem with that is that after 2 years, the product's entirely changed and they want something completely different. So the profit margin actually reduces. So we need to be able to realise profit a little bit better than we've done in the past. So what we try to do is to try and reduce this curve to actually deliver something as quickly as we can to our client, to our user. Because what that will do, it will offset the additional expenditure on the project. So it actually can become self-funding. The money earned through an early release is going to offset the additional development, or at least reduce it. Now, so we can actually save our CapEx costs up front because you won't need as much money up front. But the other thing we can do, which is quite successful, is that we can appreciate a project over depreciating a project. If this is a waterfall project in red, the touch points between each release are actually quite big. And the problem with having touch points that are so big is that you always don't deliver the highest return on investment at the same time. I think the stat at the moment is about only 60% of functionality is ever used on any waterfall release. So I need to try and break that. And how I break that is by delivering smaller pieces on a regular basis and asking my client every month, 2 weeks, 2 months. So what's next? What's your highest priority now? And what I will do is guarantee that I'm probably going to be working on virtually everything that they will use in production, and it's what's most important to them right now. Okay, so that's why we have invented Agile. That's why Agile has come into place. And there's some very good reasons for it. However, we need to still be able to control this project. We can't just work in a loose fashion. And Scrum is the answer. Scrum gets the right people talking, and I like to look at it as being a chess set. White being the user, black being the development. White leads first. So, the user has to actually pick a reason for the project, why it's needed, before we can act. And what I like to see as my 2 king pieces is the 2 key roles that Scrum gives you. The Scrum Master and Product Owner. The Product Owner is the person who will decide what we need to do next on the project. He will manage priority, he'll manage expectation, he will agree the release dates, he will manage the expectations of all the user bases. The Scrum Master brings to the table the ability to accept in a set of work and manage the iteration to actually deliver a piece of software. He will help the team to raise their issues, he will help the team to synergize, he will assist the team in any way he can to guarantee the success that is given to the product owner within an iteration. However, it's not magic. You do really need to apply common sense. What Scrum is giving you is a framework to communicate. It's a framework to organise people. It doesn't answer all the problems. In fact, what it will do is actually identify your problems a lot sooner than you've had in the past. So let's talk about Scrum. Now, when I give a training course on Scrum, it takes me 2 days. I'm only giving you an overview. So, yes, there will be some holes, but I'm assuring you, if you've done a 2-day course, I would fill those holes. So I appreciate a 2-minute explanation isn't a 2-day course. Okay, so what we have is a project backlog, which is a product owners to manage. And it's in priority list. Now, we could have user stories, user cases, we could have anything. All I want you to consider is a set of features, and this is what I want first towards what I want last. And we call it a product backlog. We, as a development group, we identify, based on a number of things, what our context will be, what we can deliver in what periods of time. Do we have an automated build? Do we have an automated integration point? Do I have 2 servers right now? We'll try to understand what our iteration durations will be. That being said, then, with an agreement between the development team and the product owner, we will pick out the features that we could deliver within the duration set we've set. We call this our sprint goal. Now, with a sprint goal, the most important thing you need to do is consider the sprint goal against the project objective. We have to make sure that it's in line with the objective set by the program, by the business case. From there, when it was accepted in and we're taking on it, the development team think they've taken on enough backlog that they can do within the iteration they've given, we will then work breaking it down into tasks. And tasks will be as granular as between 2 to 16 hours. I won't accept a task that's 40 hours because it's too big. It's very easy to gold plate within that, and I don't have any control in progress to a 40-hour task over a sequence of 5 tasks at 8 hours, because then I can also break that task to a number of people. Okay, so you need to impose certain rules. And what we're trying to do is produce a potentially shippable product increment. It's not to say we'll go live with it, but I want somebody to be able to look at the software solution that we have given and say, yes, this is exactly what we had asked for, or if it's not, why? Without having somebody look at what's being produced on the iteration on a regular basis, I do not have any control. The responsibility is to the product owner to make sure himself, herself, and whatever stakeholders that need to realise what has been delivered happens. Without that, I cannot guarantee progress. I can't guarantee, achievement of whatever the high level goals are within the cost that we're given. Okay, and while that's all happening, while we're working within an iteration, stakeholders, anybody can come up with new features, new functionality, and give it to the product owner. And the product owner's responsibility then is to actually change priorities, fit the feature in, so that when we come back to our next iteration, that piece of functionality has actually fallen into place. Now, the best piece of advice I can give you, which I give virtually everybody nowadays, is that product backlog. It should be made public. It should be on your intranet. It should be somewhere where everybody can see. So that if somebody says, well, what was delivered is not what I wanted, the onus is on them to have actually looked at the product backlog and understood where their features fallen in the priority list. If you have a product backlog that's in public viewing, you're always going to be guaranteed one thing, and that is that the priority order will actually manifest itself naturally. The people who are really keen on the product are the people who will look at the backlog. The people who will look at the backlog will be the ones that will influence their feature sets the most.